do. Ah. Ooh. Hello. Welcome to the first episode of my new podcast, Walkin with Walkin. It is me, Christopher Walken. You may remember me for such films as Pulp Fiction and The Prophecy 3. Hello. We're here tonight with some very special guests. People I have talked to over millennia. And I mean that in, I don't know, that millennia is a long time. Is it not? It is a pretty long time. That's kind of, I don't mean that. Unless you are really the Archangel Gabriel. That could be. God knows. Right? Who knows? Anyway, so I'm your host, Christopher Walken. And with us tonight, we have Mr. Robert Zombie. It's actually just Rob. It's Rob Zombie. Rob. It's not your real name. You know that, right? Like, there's another name. Like one your mother gave you. And your father, maybe. Did you have a dad? Did you have a relationship with your father? I've seen your films, Robbie. I didn't really come here to. I really didn't come here to talk about that. I mean, I'm not like why am I even here? I love your work. I guess that's why I'm here. I guess I'm here as a fan, and you're kind of like shitting on me. Easy, Robbie. Come on, the vulgarity. Let us move on. And let's talk to my second guest, Mr. Jonathan Banks. You may know him from such shows as Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, which is a show on AMC. And this show is a prequel to Breaking Bad. Am I right, Johnny? Yes. By the way, it's very nice to meet you, Christopher, and you, Rob Zombie. I'm actually quite a fan of some of your work. I have to say, mostly probably in the music department, but we'll get into all that later. Better Call Saul is the prequel series to Breaking Bad, which is funny because it's actually longer than the original series, and it really is kind of cut in half. Like, it's kind of the Saul Goodman, Mike Ehrmantraut show, because you kind of really deal with us. And Vince Gilligan, the creator, he kind of really deals with us in the same amount of time. Like, you really feel like it's disjointed, but I think that's part of the gag. I really have faith in Vince that the gag is going to end up being that this all ties together and it brings about this tendril, this cancer, so to speak, that the one that actually kills Walt, the one that actually takes everything away from Walt, his family, his trust, his station in the community, and any bit of humanity that he has left. I mean, remember, this guy poisons a kid in the show, but in Better Call Saul, we're watching out a man who actually tried to do good, kind of felt forced back into evil. Like, he knew he cheated the system before. And wow, Johnny, wait, God, I don't understand. I saw a mirror over here, and as you were telling your story, my eyes rolled, and I could have swore, if I didn't know it was me, that I was falling asleep. Oh, well, I am very sorry to, I am sorry to have bored you. right. Okay. Sorry. That's fine, Johnny. Look, love everywhere. For God's sakes, don't get me teary-eyed. Okay, moving on. We have our next guest, and this one is a very special human being in my heart, my heart of hearts. This is absolutely nobody. Hello, nobody. Hello. Nobody. What? Don't. Stop. Stop. He's exactly who is he talking to? I don't think he's talking to anybody. Johnny, he's right over there. He's looking at me. I'm Bill Duke right now in the Predator, and I see you, Mr. Nobody. Yeah. I'm watching you. That's what you want me to do? Wow. In another fucking world. Everything's great. All right, let's get on with the show. Okay. Let us discuss why Mr. Zombie can only write dialogue. Allow me, I have a send up. It's a skit, I guess. Not sort of a routine. What I am going to do. I decided to utilize your writing technique and make my own script clear. Because you're such a genius. Here's what I decided to remake Plan 9 from Outer Space by the unsung genius Edward D. Wood Jr. Yeah, boy could sew. Decided to do a remake of a scene from that film based on Rob Zombie's school of writing fucking screenplays. So we go. I don't know what you're like trying to prove with this. I mean, I have my own style. I mean, Hitchcock has his style. No. God, shame. What you talking about, Rob? Let me just read this. God damn. Okay, here we go. Here's a scene. This is the scene where the alien is talking to the beefcake and the colonel and that other guy. I forgot who else was there. But we're just going to let's do beefcake and alien. Let's just roll and scene begins. What the hell, motherfucker? Why you think you talk to me? Oh God, are you serious? Are you really telling me that right now? Just you're festering on my tits. Swear to fucking God, the real God, the God I know, one who knows all, many, accepts everyone, even the dead. Why aren't you making them citizens? You fucking prick. God damn you. God damn this whole planet. This is why we're doing this. Because you know what the time. Motherfucker. What are you? Listen, motherfucker, you can't talk to us like that. We're goddamn human beings. Whatever that means, you piece of cunt-ass shit. No, fuck you, bitch, hog, motherfucker, piece of goddamn motherfucker shit. Fuck you, you motherfucker. And that's it. That's how this thing goes. Rob, that's all it is. It's just, how many fucks can we shove in? Like, you might have something at first, then you lose it. What happened? You know what you could have done? You could have done all those kid flashbacks in the Halloween. I really don't want to talk about any of this. It's like, really? Shut up! Shut up! You don't know me. Shut up. You're gonna pay for my kid's Tommy Hilfiger. Okay? Shut up. Thanks for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. I need it. It's fine. But Halloween, Rob, like what? Halloween 2 worse. Like Devil's Rejects. Classic. No one's ever gonna outdo what you did. No one. Telling you. For sure. Let's move on. Johnny, Better Call Saul, final season. Talk. Well, okay. I can't give anything away, of course. It's part of the contract. But you got to understand that what you think you know, because of prior knowledge, thus the Breaking Bad, you're really going to be surprised how we got there, and it's kind of that situation of like a vacation. Like some vacations, getting there is half the fun. Okay, so you've already had half the fun with Breaking Bad by knowing the destination. So here, you're gonna have the second half of that fun, or the first half of that fun, of actually getting there. So for those of you fans out there that think that you know what's going to happen, I promise you, you do not. And that's just how it is. And it's going to be real, I think the fans are really going to get everything they want out of both shows in these final episodes. And the tension's going to be high since, we're going to have a break there. It's fun. It's amazing. I hate whenever y'all just stop. And they're like, we have to wait. And then suddenly one day, I get a fucking notice. This is, oh my God, it's coming back. New episodes, mañana. I'm like, God damn, I need to turn off the Spanish language app because I don't even speak Spanish. I mean, I do. I know Spanish. I know Espanol. Right? Necesito bien burrito. So, all right. Now let's moving on. Mr.Nobody.
Mr.Nobody.
Don't you look at me like that. You rascal. You know what's funny about Mr. Nobody is he knows the true meaning of Christmas. And but I'll never tell you. He's like Cthulian about that shit. Aren't you, Mr. Nobody? Yeah, I knew that. It's going to get a smile at you. Yes. Arr. Show your teeth, Mr. Nobody. You don't belong to anyone. Right? All right. Robbie, how you doing? Hey, Chris, I hate to be that guy. I mean, you just like kind of shat on my entire career. And I mean, you really just kind of shat on my entire career. And then, like, now you're talking to literally nobody. I'm wondering if maybe you have a fucking problem, man, because you are talking to nobody. sound like a frog. He does kind of sound. I'm sorry, Rob. He does kind of sound like a frog, but I think it's from all the smoking and the drinking and the whiskey. He's like, hey, Jonathan, I am a big fan of yours. I'm like really losing a lot of respect for like certain people right now. So if you could just not join him, and Johnny can say what he wants. It's a free country. Everyone here has a right to say whatever the fuck they. We're not doing this. Rob, look at me. All right. Chris, I'm about to leave. Okay, I got like a Howard Stern interview that I got to get ready for, and this was actually a kind of a chance to get to know you, but like you're kind of weird. I mean, yeah. Always weird. Where you been? And did you see the deer hunter? See the deer. Of course, I've seen the deer. Are you guys actually high? Like right now? Is this what's happening? I can't stand you, Chris. I can't. Yes, you can. Everyone does. That's the thing. Like, I can say anything I want. It's how I say it. It's like true that you like take all the punctuation out of you. For sure. Robbie, you can't talk like me if you use rules. Hello, today's broadcast of Walking with Walkin is brought to you by Gilgamesh Beer. If it doesn't say Gilgamesh on it, well, then it wasn't once actually a currency. It's also brought to you by Alpaca Cigarettes. It's alpaca if you like them, because they do not come with matches, and that would cost you extra. All right, moving right along. We are on Osiris Radio 666. You can find that and all other available podcasts on the iHeartOsiris.com website. And I'll be sure and leave a link for you at the end of the broadcast, or at least Christopher will, and he will also have a few messages of his own. And we will return to the podcast very shortly. Thank you. So I'm talking, like I'm going on and on, and she, she's feeling fine, she's feeling all right, she's got Steve, is there, it's just kind of hanging out, like Gregory Hines coming over in about 10 minutes, and I can't wait to get some dance moves out, and sometime. I go into the kitchen and I grab more of the mints. Okay. What do you? Where is this going? For Chris? Wait a minute. Just hold on a minute, Rob. So, what they don't know, just chomping down on it. He's just grabbing them by the handfuls. I had a kid at a Christmas party. He can't get his hands off the mints, because they're so soft and delicate and delicious, and the texture. It's like eating chalk. They always felt like chalk to me. They don't feel as much like chalk, though, as those goddamn fucking hearts that they sell every day on Valentine's Day. I fucking love those, actually. Those are really, like, pretty badass. And of course, you would like them, Rob. No one said. Anyway, what they don't know about these particular mints, that Heinz is tearing apart. These are actually drippings on my counter from when I'm brushing my teeth using Aquafresh. My God, it's really sick, Chris. Right, exactly. Wow, bowie zowie, bam. He's just eating the hell out of these. Who am I to stop him? You are really sick. You are really, really sick, Chris. That's good. No, that's fun. That's dandy. Hey, we're back on. Yeah. He's been over there waving at you. Why do I know that kid from somewhere? That kid kid, you say. Bah! That kid over there is 50 fucking years old. That is the one and only Corey Feldman. He needs some extra work since his little sex cult didn't exactly work out. Oh, excuse me, Chris. Hold on a minute. Hi, everybody. I'm online. This is the Fell Dog. Listen, Chris. That's not what Corey's Angels was about at all, man. Corey's Angels was a service for young, beautiful, voluptuous yet strikingly thin women. It was a sanctuary for them, you know. It was because angels have helped me all my life, so I figured, you know what, I would like to help out angels myself, and you know, and I can't wait to get my hands on some of these angels and really help them in the world, man. I mean, that's me, you know. That's all me. We understand. We've heard the whole thing. He needs to work, and he's running all the gadgets. He's doing a terrible job in every way. I can't even get my screen up. My newsreels, not even playing. They're not newsreels. They're YouTube videos. And that's. Are you serious, Chris? Are you serious? That kid's 50 years old. I saw him in Lost Boys the other day. By the way, really good movie. That was fun. That was fun. Thank you. I made that in like fucking 1987, man. Who the fuck are you? Jonathan. Thanks. I think we've actually been in something together. I'm not exactly sure. I'm looking at you, though, and you look like something I wanted to step on once, so I have to think and assume that we have worked together at some point. Corey Feldman hasn't worked on anything since the Lost Boys sequels, which were fucking garbage. I've worked on plenty of things. Have you not heard my records? No one is listening to your records, Corey. No one at all. I know because no one's listening to my records anymore, but you know, at least, you know, I'm still like making soundtracks and such. I don't know. I like the horses one. I thought that was a pretty good one. I don't remember exactly what I was doing with that. I remember I was trying to do a movie or something. We'll get back to that in a minute, Rob. I'm going to talk all about noise. Corey, Fell Dog, this is what you got to do. You got to get my computer running under the screen. It's just staring at me like a black bull. You know, not the great white bull Hemingway referred to. This is a black void. It's nothingness. It's like I'm staring off into space. I got some bills to pay here. And I'm not reading yet. You are not a sponsor of this broadcast. It's podcast. You are not a sponsor of this podcast, Corey. You understand me? You still turn your mic. Turn your mic off. No, don't say another word. It's just one. That's all I need. I'll walk over there and I'm going to physically assault you with my hands. You do it, I'm going to kick you. I'm going to kick you till you're dead. Mr.Nobody, get him. We don't have to ring Mr.Nobody. All right, get up. All right. Fine, sit down, nobody. Sit down. Yeah, Mr.Nobody, please sit down. It's fine. Everything's good. We're back. All right, we're back. Walkin with Walkin. Hello, I'm your host, Christopher Walken. You may remember me from such films as Kiss of the Mummy and Biloxi Blues, based on the play by Neil Simon. Yeah, I want to talk to you about that. That's actually one of my favorite. Your rendition of Sergeant Merwin J. Toomey is probably one of the greatest unsung classic performances that came out of the 19th, especially in period piece pictures. I mean, you don't really see that kind of powerhouse anymore unless you're doing like a Spielberg film or what's that guy? That guy does all the weird shit. I think it's like Wayne like Anderson. No, that's the guy that does the video zombie liquor games. That is not who that is. That's Paul like Anderson. So it's that's Wes Anderson. He does those kooky, creepy, funny little movies that are 9 hours long. I actually like those. You don't have to think about anything for a while, and you don't have to get up and change the channel, and you can go to the bathroom and come back, and you're right back where you started. So I mean, I don't like, kind of like those. Anyway, your performance needs to like be heralded for what it was. So that's thank you, Jonathan. Touched, I am. That let's talk a little bit about that. We got. I don't remember. We had Ferris Bueller out yet. I think we might have. I think it was the year before. I don't recall. If anyone out there knows, call in. Let us know. Let us know something. Let us know you're out there. But I remember the kid from that movie, War Games. Yeah, when he's done. That's when he's talking to the Whopper. It was the Whopper. Yeah, the Whopper. It was called the Whopper. It was sort of like a like Skynet. Skynet. Wow. Wow. Skynet's the big evil computer in the Terminator movies. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like a precursor to it. It's like, except this one's called Joshua. Joshua. Yes, that movie. He's talking to the DOS. Yeah, it was. DOS was when you had black screen, green print, or blue. Was it blue or was it green? I thought word processor was blue. I always thought it was kind of white. I mean, kind of looked always kind of white. Yeah, maybe I'm thinking about that other movie with that other kid that's cooler and he does all the kung fu. That would be The Matrix. My God, Matrix. What the hell? Shush. Just saw Tron the other day. Not even over it. It's the licking up glowing computer water. It's weird. It's gross. Can't be sanitary. Have you ever seen the inside of a mainframe? It's got to be all kinds of shit in there. I mean, it depends on how well you take care of your equipment. Well, I got that fucker kid over there, the failed actor, the failed dog. It's that guy over there. He's responsible for that. I don't know anything about this. I don't even drive. You understand? I don't have Facebook, Instagram. I'm not on Twitter, whatever the hell it's called, Twitter. It might as well be called Twitter. It's Twitter. You just leave that one alone, Rob. You just let him have that one. Mr.Nobody, you're awfully quiet over there. Chris, there's nobody over there. It says you. This is a lot of people. No. Okay, here we go. We're back online. Thank you, Mr. Feldman. You are fine. Let's go ahead and pay some bills. I got a few products I like to push based on my many travels. Things I appreciate, not so much because they're hard to find, but because I like them. So here we go. Let's get a few of these here. In my times reading Spanish, I've always turned back to this volume, Puntos de Partida. It is edition 8. I'm sure there's a new one, but this is one of the greatest books you could ever utilize to learn the native tongue of your neighbors south of the border. And you can do it while there's still time. Before Ted Cruz gets his skin peeled off and has to walk around with the air. Check out the book. That Jonathan, you do a show, a lot of people really get hurt. Bad. Times get bad. That show, I was thinking, how cruel do you think it'd be if you skinned a man, kept him alive, somehow, I don't know, I've never done this, and you tanned his hide, his leather, and you sewed it together into a suit that would cover up all the parts of his body that no longer had skin. Would that be cruel? Or would it be modification? Whoa. Well, I'm gonna probably have to say that that's probably I'll say both. I'm gonna say both. You are modifying. I said thievery, Johnny. It's assault. Most definitely. It's definitely assault. Thievery, I think we're going past the thievery part. You are taking it, so never mind. Let's actually roll that back into it. You're actually taking the skin, but I'm giving it back. Yeah, but you're not giving him his skin back. You're giving a product of his skin back that you have manufactured. I'm not gonna do that. I don't sew. My mama never sewed. Yeah, but you definitely are commissioning the act of sewing it into another form and giving it back. Sew into a suit. Who doesn't want a nice leather suit? Probably the man whose skin went into the suit. It's gotta be ungrateful to some degree, right? Rob, talk to me. Help me out here. I'm just gonna get this straight and make sure that we're on them. All right, so you're talking about taking a elected politician, taking office. It doesn't have to be Ted Cruz. Hey, Rob, just goddamn, move along. Read the room. Fuck, brother. All right, so you're talking about taking the skin off of a random person that you obviously do not like. And somehow you're going to, I guess, keep him in some sort of a Luke Skywalker-like stasis so he doesn't die from the mere shock and horrible experience of not having skin and feeling the fresh breeze. Yes, the wind, the molecules, the fibers, it's everything. All the allergens and the dirt and the filth and I got you. Yeah. So you're gonna obviously you care enough about him to protect him from all of that fucking bullshit. Exactly, precisely, indubitably. Okay, so, and after that, you're going to take his skin and you're going to go through the normal process of cleaning it and tanning it. And then you're going to oil it up, dye it, I assume. It'll probably be best. We kept his tone, his hue. You don't want to take everything away from the man. Right. So we're going to sew it into a suit, and we're going to give that suit back to this person who shall not be named. And if he doesn't accept it, let me ask you real quick: are you going to make a mask? Mask? It's in some Halloween store. What are you talking about, Rob? I thought you were on my side. Chris, I'm just asking because there's skin on your face. I'm not going to take his face off, Rob. How am I going to know it's him? We'll be right back after these messages. Rob. Hello, this episode of the podcast Walkin with Walkin is brought to you by Simple Thin Yet Minty Crackers. These are crackers that Christopher Walken found somewhere in Eastern Germany that for some reason took a fancy because he didn't like the chocolate in Thin Mints,
but he loved the taste. And somehow he found a place, some village somewhere in eastern Germany that makes crackers that taste like Thin Mints. And for some reason, he wants those to become a big thing in this country. And we are not allowed in any way, shape, or form, based on our paycheck, to question his logic. And this is also, according to him, brought to you by Corey's Angels. It is a service provided for very young, fit, and buxom females who don't mind becoming vegans and want to dress scandalously for the majority of them. I mean, this is not what the actual ad says, but I'm reading it, and I know that this is the best way to say this, because there's no fucking way I'm going to. This is the sex cult. This is a plug for his sex cult. Christopher, I'm sorry. I pre-recorded this before the live production, so if you're hearing this, I don't really know how to. Okay, that's fine. That is all right. Thank you. Yes. Well, welcome back to the podcast, Walkin with Walkin. Corey, you fucking foul-mouthed little son of Abraham. What the hell? I told you, we're not plugging your fucking sex cult. But it's not a sex cult. I'm telling you, it's a service that I provide. I don't give a good goddamn. We're not doing that. You're not gonna make Nigel say that horrendous fucking shit. You know what it sounds like? I don't know exactly. I don't know, Chris. What are you trying to say? What does it sound like to you? What's it? It sounds like a man trying very hard to prove that he is a heterosexual. We know that you've had issues in the past, and I'm not trying to say anything. Are you trying to say that I'm like what? That I'm gay? That I'm homosexual? That's not how the Fel Dog works. The Fel Dog doesn't do the gay stuff. He doesn't do the gay stuff unless he may or may not have been asleep on a very particular evening where said events may or may not have possibly occurred. Yeah, we know, understand. It's like if you were a Star Wars character, you'd be like just fucking horrible. You'd be a Sith. We know. I know, at least. I just got done watching the whole goddamn 9 trilogy. I don't even know what to call that. What do you call that crap? It's not an Octa trilogy. We're past that. For God's sakes, Mandalorian is even better than the last 3 movies. Whatever those things were. You're horrible. Everything about you is horrible. It's not me, okay? I wasn't the one. I am trying to hold myself together. Okay? I was too cool to be sucked in by everything. Unlike the hamster and his asshole just kind of had a tractor beam, It kind of just sucked in old cock. That wasn't me. That wasn't the Fel Dog. Okay, that was the hamster. I'm telling you right now that everything was kosher. Well, I mean, it could be until I was victimized. When I became a victim, all of that kind of changed. And I'm telling you, you understand, they're like 2 producers from one of those Star Wars films that you just mentioned, and they had a ball with the hamster. They started calling him Kid Sarlacc because he was just a pit that fat old dudes threw their shit into. Wow, this cut his mic. Cut his mic. Johnny, I got him. I mean, Corey, you're gonna have to take what? You're gonna have to take. Leave me alone. Get away from me, Johnny. Get away, Mr. Banks. Mr. Banks, get over here. Give me that fucking shit and stop doing the thing. Take him outside. Kick his ass. Put him in traction. Okay. The mic is off. Welcome back. Hello. Welcome back to the podcast. This is Walkin with Walkin. Make sure I get it right. We've had a couple of shots of brandy. We're enjoying the time. Where were we at? I would kind of appreciate it if we could stop talking about cutting off people's skins. Especially people that may or may not be recognizable to the current audience. Rob, hello. We're not talking about taken anyone's skin off that we know or that actually exists. We're talking hypothetical. Okay, well, as long as we're talking hypothetical, I mean, you gotta understand, I'm an artist, right? And I do my thing, but I enjoy good, I enjoy a good time, and I am having a good time. But you are quite the abrasive type that I think my time in Los Angeles is kind of maybe burned out of me. This is very eccentric, and if you saw my pad episode, you'll know I'm quite eccentric. But somehow this is a little more intense. We're gonna stop talking about the skinning of human beings. Let's go on to another title or another concept we can all discuss easily, and maybe one day we're gonna have to deal with. Johnny, you come back. Get in your chair. We got you. No, your microphone is over here. You don't use his. Don't use his. Make him work. No, I'm getting it up. I've got video right here. I got my news reels, my news feed. Got it right here. Look at it. What's happening in the world? Get over here. Get over here. Come on. Johnny, I need you to walk over here. See this chair? This chair right here, it's for you. It's all for you. I need you to sit down in the chair. When I say I'm fine, that means fuck off to the chair. I'm fine, John. I'm fine. I need you in the chair. There we go. There we go. So, I really think I'm getting closer and closer to realizing exactly who that little fuck is. Outside of the obvious loss, which I still, lots of love. All right, so we're going to stop talking about skinning Ted Cruz. Wait, I haven't been talking about Ted Cruz. I was doing you, both of you. God damn you. Damn both of you. How dare you? You think I got something against Ted Cruz? Outside of the fact that he looks like Pinocchio became a fat fucking fascist. I'm done. Not into politics. That's why I don't have an Instagram. So let's do this. Let's change the subject up. Let's get away from the skinning. I totally concur with that. I'm going to have to second him on that. Mr.Nobody, you have anything to say? Very well. It's unanimous. All right. So the next subject is cannibalism, and I need to talk to y'all about that. When is it or is it not okay to cannibalize another human being? Rob, we'll start with you. Well, the funny thing about cannibalism, I'm gonna have to. I'm spitballing here, so you gotta give me a little bit of. I wouldn't expect it. Take your time, Rob. Whatever you do, don't leave us in wanting, but leave us in waiting, if you must. Cannibalism is one of those phenomena that occur in nature naturally. Pigs. You can feed cooked pork chops to a pig and they will not turn away from it. In the wild, they also will cannibalize those of their piglet herd, whatever they call it, that die. And they'll kill each other and eat each other in revenge. And maybe some kind of form of justice. I don't know. I really haven't done a lot of study on pigs, but I do know that their meat is more structured like ours, unlike a chimpanzees or gorillas, which is more kind of base like red meat, like steak, like on a cow. So thus the one of the colloquialisms for human meat was long pig, um, which is a reference to humans. It comes from the Caribs, which is also where we get the term cannibalism from. It's from the Caribbean tribes that supposedly practice it, although there's a lot of question into how much they did and what they did it for, and how much of that wasn't just some sort of a racist wet dream. There's a racist. Let's talk. You know what I found funny about race? I found out that there's only one race of man. So when people say, "Oh my God, what race are you from?" I'm like, "I'm from the human race." And people look at me like, "No, but what's your nationality?" And I'm like, "It's not the same thing. How dare you? Who are you to like change the definitions of words?" Jonathan Banks, words and definitions. Talk to me about cannibalism. Well, Christopher, I'm gonna have me a Diet Coke here. I'm not gonna lie to you. Cannibalism really hasn't been a thing that I've really ever kind of utilized any of my mental faculties towards. I've always had a grocery store. And maybe I'm privileged. God knows. But like all my vegetables and my nutrients and my spices, and I got like pig meat and chicken meat and beef and shrimp and fish, and I have avenues where I can get meat that doesn't necessarily have to come from a human being. Outside of the work they put into capture, raise, domesticate, and kill and butcher. So I mean, I know Johnny Depp wouldn't appreciate anything I'm saying, but I appreciate a good steak. But I really can't say much about cannibalism. I will say the thought is quite abhorrent to my sensibilities. The idea of eating your own kind. Also, I believe there's an issue with Kuru, which is it's like the mad cow virus. So it's not a virus; it's actually a protein that like digs little holes in your brain like Swiss cheese. This is where the mad cow disease comes from, and we actually feed grinded up cattle remains to our friends, the guys. We turn them into cannibals, and that's how we eventually got the Swiss cheese protein, the mad cow disease. So that's a kind of a scary thing. Cannibalism doesn't seem very viable. What about live? What about the soccer teams in the Andes had to fucking eat the friends' asses to live? They had to eat the ass, Johnny. I understand that, and that I'm gonna have to put that into some kind of a special situations box. I don't know. I really, outside of the movie and the book, I really don't know how the rest of them live the rest of their lives after that experience. So I don't know what complications. Maybe they all lost their minds. Maybe they all their heads turned into Swiss cheese. I mean, I don't know. It's not exactly a thing I like, oh my God, I wonder what happened to that fucking Argentinian soccer team that crashed in the fucking Andes and had to eat their friends' asses. I don't sit there and think about that shit at night. You don't. Wow, that's fascinating. Like, in my line of work, when I go home, I'm like sleeping, trying to get in at 9. I lay there till 2. And like around 2:30, when I'm about to blink in and out consciousness, it's when suddenly I think about shit like that. Stuff. It's like it's that and it's quasars. I imagine your evenings are incredibly lacking of anything dull, I'd have to say. Do you know what a black hole would sound like if you could hear sound in space? Just based on the radio transmissions that come from black holes. I would have to say I am not completely aware of what those would sound like if they had sound. No, not really the circles I travel in, of course. I actually think I know what. No one's talking to you, Bob. We'll get to you. You already got to. Can I leave yet? Is this a good time? No. You see, at night it's tachyons, and then it's shit like this. But I'll answer your question. It would sound like a child screaming in eternity. I mean, like a baby howling. Unending chaos. Constantly swirling towards what they call a singularity. It's a little bit of nothing that's taking in something. Let's talk about the never-ending story. Rob, what do you think of the never-ending story? We're talking about the book or the movie. We're talking about the whole thing. But yeah, let's stick with the film. At least that's the only one I know. I didn't read the book. I don't like the idea of a book that doesn't have an end. Well, the movie didn't have an end either, Chris. So I know. They can't. No movie can ever encapsulate the novel source material. Ever, Rob. I know that. Okay, yeah. Oh, so all right. Never-ending story. Never-ending story was a German or Swiss. It was definitely a European production in cohesence with American. You can actually, by the way, see E.T. and Disney characters like Mickey Mouse. You can actually see them represented in the ivory tower meeting that the racing snail and the rock biter and the bat glider go to at the beginning of the fictional part of the story. When Bastian starts reading the book and really starts getting into the world of Fantasia. I gotta say the effects were always, as a maniac growing up, I was always very appreciative of the practical effects, the practicality of it. Like there's a lot of Industrial Light and Magic style animographics, but the puppets, the large scale puppets that were utilized is very ambitious. You wouldn't see that stuff like that today. I'm so bored. What puppets? What are you talking about? If anything's animatronic, is it really a puppet anymore? Or is it probably just a fucking robot? Yeah, Chris, it can be a robot, and that doesn't make it not a puppet if the robot only interacts with the motions of the puppeteer. Then it's... Yeah. You know who I like in that film, the movie? I like Morla, the ancient one. He seems to be the only one like me. I think I can see that. For sure. Here's the thing. I love that. Number one, he's allergic to children. Especially privileged white Indians. Little fuckers. Don't even know what the red man was about. Marlon Brando is a man. He knew what the red man was about. Even had a red woman speak for him at the Oscars. Like a champ. Like a champion for those that less fortunate than him, me, definitely you, and the little fucker over there. You can't get the internet to stay connected. So every time I click, it says, sorry, can't do it. And I'm like, yes, you can, because the icon down here says it's happening. So quit lying to me. You can't. It's still lie. Nothing's a lie with this man. Fell dog, you were never molested at all. Don't turn your mic back on, ever. Until you're a guest. In fact, you're fired after this show. I have another person in mind that wants to handle. Shut up. I don't care. You were saying, Rob. What do you think about the bad guy of the piece? You mean what is what was that? The giant wolf guy, the Gmork, yeah, Gmork. God, I love that name, Gmork. It sounds so primal. It sounds like an animal. It's funny you say that because he was an animal. Well, is this the movie that had the kid from Troll that hunted purple buffalo that we never saw? Sid, this is the actual film. Johnny, welcome aboard. Thank you for joining us. Yes. All right, I like this movie a lot. I really like The Rock by it. I like the idea of a cannibalistic. We're talking about cannibalism, right? I love the idea of a dude made of rocks that eats rocks. He's kind of a son of a bitch. I don't know. Something about him, I don't know. Kind of brings me back to my Buckaroo Banzai days. You know, I was in that film. You know, I played an orderly. I was taking care of Lazario, played by the great, what's that asshole's name again? John Lithgow. Yeah, he played the Trinity Killer in Dexter. Yeah, he even showed back up in the new series. Johnny, hold on a minute. Let's go back to Rob. He's telling us things. Care. Rob, continue. I was just going to say that the animatronics are obviously problematic. But the scope, like it was like this and like Labyrinth and Dark Crystal, you know, like where you really got major films that a grand majority of characters were not exactly human, bodily performed. A lot of them were puppets and creature effects, but still it did not go into the, even Labyrinth failed, where I personally believe that the Dark Crystal succeeded. Is the Dark Crystal actually gave you an entire different world where there was nothing. I mean, there's similarities and appendages and images that you can relate to, but you can't relate to any of the lore mythology or the the fucking people. You got Gelflings and Podlings, and there's no like Val Kilmer and Willow. There's no Jennifer Connelly from Labyrinth. There's no human. There's no David Bowie that's centering you into a more comfortable palette. And I think the Dark Crystal is probably the greatest. But the Neverending Story is really good. Did you like the Neverending Story, Chris? Did you like it? I didn't. I don't. It's one of those movies that fascinates me. It's a film where absolutely nothing is the only thing happening. No. The nothing is the bad guy, and the nothing is our lack of imagination. Fuck that. What lack of imagination? Who's saying this stuff? Where do you get this from? What cult is throwing this in your face? Who's lacking imagination? You got flying spaghetti monsters. You got people that want to fucking believe in QAnon. You got motherfuckers that vote for Trump. Lack of imagination. Jesus Christ. It's horrible. Shameful, Rob. You should be ashamed of yourself. Everything you've done, everything you've ever done in your life, you should be ashamed of yourself right now.
Well, that is an opinion. And, I've heard plenty of that. Fuck you, Chris. Like, fuck you, Rob. I love you. Don't go anywhere. Johnny! Imagination. Go for it. Are we off to cannibalism? Sure. I think. Where are we going with that? I don't know. This is not my podcast. This was yours. So, all right, imagination. All right. Let me try this here. Imagination, for me, is everything that's not in the script. Like, I read the script, I read the treatments, the storylines, and everything I'm allowed, of course, to read. We don't get full scripts on Better Call Saul. We didn't get full scripts on Breaking Bad either. We did what we were told, and then after so much time, we got to watch the episode in its edited version, and we got to see, that's what we were doing. But Vince has always been nice to give us everything we need to make sure that the character performance is down to the line, like it's what's needed and wanted. And well, in that regard, I got to say that's where imagination does best, because sometimes you're on set and I'm like, hey, I think he's gonna like here's an example. On the half measure speech I gave to Walter White in Breaking Bad, I tell him about, because he doesn't want me to kill Lydia, and I tell him, I was like, I tell him a story about a time where I let a guy get off the hook and let him get off the hook and let him get off the hook, and then finally not doing the right thing, which was putting a gun in this dude's mouth and blowing his brains out. He actually finally killed his wife, who had been begging us to save her from him for like months. So when it came down to killing Lydia, I was like, no more half measures, Walter. But in that, there's a way to say it. I can say, no more half measures, Walter, right? And that's kind of how it was written, at least the way I was reading it. But the more I read it, the more I looked over the situation, and I went and I talked to the actress that plays Lydia. And we got to sitting around and jabbering, and I kind of got a feel for her, and I kind of got a feel for her on a basic level. So I imagined that woman scared out of her mind and leaving her only child to state custody, which means shipped in and out of foster homes and what's and so-and-so's, damaging the kid's psyche for the rest of her life. Well, that didn't matter. She needed to die. And that none of that would, stop me from doing what I needed. So I thought about all of that when, instead of saying, no more half measures, Walter, we did the scene and I went, no more half measures, Walter. And that was the take they used. So there, I think imagination really kind of fits in. You understand what I mean, Chris? I understand perfectly. I was doing The Prophecy with Elias Koteas. Brilliant actor. I love the man. He's got a great cleft. His nose is Roman as hell. He's a beautiful specimen of a living man, a performer. And I like him a lot. I think he was really great as the priest made cop. That was actually probably one of the cooler horror films that was made in that time. Thank you very much. Appreciate it so much. I'll tell him he said so. We're doing the gag. When he wrecks the car I'm in with the zombie that I made out of
Amanda Plummer, and he tries to like argue theology with me. And I'm like, okay, well, make it good. And he tells me you always lie, and God doesn't love you anymore. He loves people, and that's what you can't get behind. And you got a big problem with that. And you're a jealous motherfucker, and maybe you didn't ask him. And the original, the way it was written, it's like got the big, exclamation point. So I'm supposed to say, he doesn't talk to me anymore. I'm supposed to go into that. And I'm like, no. After all that he lays down that heat on me. He's going to roll me like that. Like he's going to roll me like a tortilla. No, sir. That's not how it's going to happen. I'm not afraid of
it's gonna happen.
So I come out like a goddamn schnitzel. And I'm like, no, sir. Because he doesn't talk to me anymore. So I said it with a little bit of disdain. No, I get that. I can feel that in your body. Right. I said a little bit of disdain and a little bit of jealousy. It's definitely like jealousy. Right. And I tried to make that a sort of a theme of it. It's almost like he's kind of like a fallen hero. Yeah, as I was saying, he's like more like a goddamn Greek tragedy, more than an angelic being that fell. In fact, there's no evidence. Exactly. He still wants that the Lord's name not be taken in vain. He still hates all of that, and he also hates crying. I love the idea. I want to ask you about that. Why does Gabriel hate human crying so much? Is it because of the prayer? Exactly. That was the thing. That was my idea. That wasn't in the script. That was one of those using your imagination. And I was like, if this motherfucker is hearing cries all day long, every day, for eternity, for the last 5 gazillion years, he's probably like tired of hearing people cry. So anytime you cry, he's pretty much like, no, shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear that shit. Shut up. You're ruining my good karma. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm with you. I'm with you, Chris. I get it. No, it's good. It's good stuff. It is really, that made me laugh so hard in the theater when I saw the first prophecy. I was kind of blown away by how much of a performance you could get out of, no offense, but a minuscule, it really was the supernatural Terminator.
Absolutely superb.
And it definitely was minuscule compared to what the Terminator was. It's there, you understand. I'm sure you have that. By the way, I'm about to bring in the Continental Breakfast Buffet. We use that at the end of every show. I want you, Johnny, and Robbie here. I want you to get your unusual large portion. In fact, I have a selected portion you're going to start with of banana cakes. I need you to appreciate them in the way you would appreciate Cincinnati whore. It's clean and wants you for the evening. And that's how we're going to do that. Rob, final words, please. I wasn't exactly finished. Johnny loves all. There are cupids circling you. Robbie, final words for this evening's podcast, because I want to go break someone with a crowbar. Well, my final words, I guess, would be, first of all, don't do that, please. We like you around, Chris. We definitely want you for maybe later prophecy sequels. It's not going to happen, Rob. It can't. If I go back, I'm going to have to justify the sequels that don't have me in them. Do you know what that means, Rob? Yeah, I mean, yeah. Dimension is also responsible for the Hellraiser sequels. I'm probably going to totally be shat upon by them for this, especially the other Weinstein, the one that hasn't touched his actors. Good to know. Glad. So, final words, Rob. Don't forget to support horror and support thrash, shock, metal music, no matter how lame you may think it is. Remember, your parents thought what you listen to was lame, and you think what your kids listen to is lame. Don't be that kind of person. Support all artistic endeavors, and definitely support me in all my endeavors. I'm really thinking about taking Christopher Walken's concept for a Plan 9 from outer space and actually adapting it into a new, possibly musical. And Chris has shown interest in helping me write it. Haven't you, Chris? Absolutely. Well, I actually said choreography, but I mean, we'll get some Fatboy Slim to rub some funk on it. See where we are. So, Jonathan Banks, Better Call Saul, and Breaking Bad. Final words, please. Well, I'm going to say that the final season of Better Call Saul is going to be some of the best shit you've ever seen on television. I think I can say that here. I don't think this is a monetized podcast. I'm going to say that. And I invite every one of you to come and see and love on AMC. And if you got AMC Plus, you'll see it ahead of time. Or at least by 2 a.m. if you're doing a BitTorrent. I probably shouldn't have said that. No, you probably should not have. You probably shouldn't have. Okay, well, anyway, if you have it, check it out. It's the final season. What's funny is we have the middle part of the story, Breaking Bad, actually showed first. Then we had the beginnings of Better Call Saul, which is the prequel, but each season prior to this one had an excerpt of post Breaking Bad. And that's been a continuous theme that changed this season. You're going to see why and how, and that's going to hopefully blow your mind. But you have El Camino, a movie on Netflix that shows the after effects of Breaking Bad. So it's like the third part. So in a way, Better Call Saul is a complement to the after effects as well as an origin to certain characters in the show that was beloved and is beloved, which is Breaking Bad, one of the greatest shows after The Wire, as Peter Griffin would say. Y'all know him from Family Guy. Yes, we're going to have him as a guest soon, I hope. How are you going to have a cartoon character as a... You mean you're going to have Seth MacFarlane as a guest on here? No. That's say... What part of Peter Griffin and Seth MacFarlane did you get confused with? I don't know, Chris. Maybe it's the fact that one of them does the voice for the other. You throw your voice. I've done voices. I did voice work in Ants. I'm not an ant, am I? Chris, I think you're seriously losing your grip on fucking reality, brother. And I love you to death, but I'm going to say that and leave it at that. It's fine. Thank you, John. Let's go. Mr.Nobody, any words of encouragement to fill out this disastrous episode of Walkin' with Walkin'? What? Oh, don't. No. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Bad boy. I ain't gonna make none of this argument about any of this garbage we're talking about. Now, we are not inviting Fred Decker on the podcast. I know you're going to want to talk about Monster Squad all night. But I have some questions about Night of the Creeps. I need that to be the focus. All right, you're done. Shut up. Sit down before I start hating you again. All right, what a time. Thank you very much for listening to Walkin with Walkin. We all love you. God bless. Make sure nothing bad happens. And remember, there are molesters out there. Ask the Coreys. Fell Dog, send us off. You know, you're kind of a piece of shit.